Climate change is a reality and affects all aspects of life. That is why the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, through its flagship youth program, Safeguard Young People, have designed a first-of-its-kind standalone module called Resilient Futures, Young People, the Climate Crisis, and Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights.
We are seeing more and more weather disasters where we see severe storms and flooding where many families have been displaced. And as a result of this, their vulnerabilities have increased, especially those of young girls and young women, where issues of safety are also a concern, where issues of privacy in terms of personal hygiene and taking care of their own personal needs. These are areas that are very important for us in ensuring that they are still having access, even when disaster strikes, they have access to sexual, reproductive, and health.
The module is part of the wider Comprehensive Sexuality Education (CSE) offerings for young people in and outside school settings. Guiding principles inherent in CSE, such as its gender transformative, rights-based, and life skills-based approaches, as well as interactive, participatory teaching and learning methods, are infused within the module.
Today I learned a lot about sexual reproduction, climate change, which affects sexual reproduction and health, especially with females, because they are more in danger of getting STIs, being abused, being part of gender-based violence.
Young people learn some of the impacts of climate change on their rights, health, and well-being, with emphasis on women and girls, and inspires them to individually or collectively lead in taking local action towards climate justice.
To be honest with you, I didn't think there was a link between the two things. I didn't even begin to think how climate change would affect reproductive health. So now I know how their pregnancies are going to be affected. I'm going to have to tell them to be aware of their climate change and the environment so it can affect them less in what they do.
What's so great about being at this training here with young people that is talking about climate change and the link to sexual reproductive health and rights is that they get it. They are really getting that connection on how whether you're a woman or a young person or with a disability, how climate change really does impact our sexual and reproductive health and rights in a number of ways. Seeing them feel inspired to take local action and deliver this information to other young people is really great to see, and we hope to do more and more of this type of specialized work.
It has been a pleasure knowing this kind of information for us to share it with other people so they can also be aware of how sexual reproductive health and rights is impacted by our climate change.
UNFPA remains committed to addressing the impact of climate change by strengthening health systems and adaptation strategies amongst the communities we serve. We encourage partners to join our efforts to ensure we leave no young person behind in receiving the information and skills imparted in the Resilient Futures module and our other climate change-related interventions.